as it is telling me to? Okay. Attempt number 3. I think we're live. We're almost. Okay. I'm gonna wait for people to click on. This is attempt number 3. Let me know if it's any better. I think it might not be. But we'll find out. Thank you to everyone who's been, we back, Moose Brains. Is this any better? Let me know. It's a lot better. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for the last 20 minutes while I try to get this going. I was convinced. I was like, I used to do this. I'm not that much older now. Now, the problem is that in doing this, I've lost my stream of the fight, so I'll try to get it back up, but it might just be, oh, perfect. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Oh my god, I meant to do a poll. I don't know if anyone watching is, also watching the UFC right now, but very, very quickly, I'm gonna toss up a poll in case anyone is. I know the fight has already started, so let me race to get this poll up. It's up. This is gonna be a real quick one because we're already 20 seconds into the fight, and again, I don't know if anyone is actually watching the UFC, but I'm glad we're live, we're online now. Again, thank you, Moose Brains, for the support. I had some space beside me here because I was gonna put this up, but I don't know, maybe I'll just squish myself into the middle and you're watching the UCLA Boise, it's pronounced Boise, right? Boise State football game, and salty. So who, Moose Brains, who does that make you? Who are you supporting? Because I don't have the score anywhere up. So let me know how it's going. Because I can't even get the UFC going here. So I've got nothing going right now. But we persist. We persist. We will get this stream together. This is the perfect test. You can't say without doxing. That's fair. Okay, let me pull it up really quick. Let me pull it up. UCLA, Boise. Okay, all right. I hear you. I see what you're saying. Oh, and it's like the end of the game too. How's their season going though? I feel like it's coming on the end of the season for all of the college teams now. They got lucky, okay? Oh wait. Okay, so Boise scored early, quick and early, and now they've been down, right? What is? Old man, see, I'm not. So does that mean Emmett, Seth? Because I'm trying to get the stream up, and I haven't gotten that part done yet. So I'll take that to mean that Emmett won, and I like Emmett, so I hope that's right. But that also means that I should close this poll right now, and I swear, guys, we're getting this together in time for the second fight. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, so Moose Brains, what I was saying is college football is coming to an end, right? Because like here in Canada, like our college sports, especially college football, isn't as big as in the States, and those seasons are like pretty much over now. Still trying to get the UFC on for everyone who's just joining. I'm almost there. I've almost got things together. How's the video quality, everyone? Let me know. I think we fixed the choppy aspect of it. And now I'm looking forward to watching it back and seeing how it really looked. Seeing if you guys were just being nice. Okay, am I gonna get this fight up? Let's see. For some reason, I was watching Shavkat earlier fights today, because we'll get to it when we get to that fight. But like, I feel like, with all due respect to Shavkat, and I think he will win, but the odds were like heavy in his favor, and I was surprised because I think Wonder Boy is going to be an interesting challenge for him. Like I said, I still think he's going to win. Oh. I'm so sorry about that banging. I swear I used to know how to do ASMR. Okay, good news. I got the fight up. I don't have it up on a big screen like I was hoping for, but I have it on my phone, so I'll be able to watch. that. All right, let's see. You saw the CFL ending. It was mentioned in one of the NFL weekly roundups, was it? Man, one day we'll get American teams back into the CFL. What were they saying, though? What were they saying about it in the NFL weekly roundup? Any CFL-related ASMR videos in the future? I would love to. I don't know if there's a big demand for it, but I do love my CFL. So I definitely, at the very least, I might do some like. I've been thinking over some sort of like vlogs, but then maybe having like an ASMR voiceover on top of it or something like that. But like next I always go to see CFL games, so definitely we'll do something in relation to that. But now the season's over, it's not that much to talk about, unfortunately, until next summer. So it's a long off season. Rumblings about expansions into Canada, about the NFL expanding into Canada. Montreal. Okay, so highlights of the Grey Cup. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I imagine that if the NFL was to expand into Canada, Toronto would get the first game, or the first team. There used to be an annual Bills game in Toronto, but that ended a long time ago, unfortunately. I think there's only room for one football team really in Toronto. So I wonder what would happen to the Argos. They could move up to like North York or something. Hey, War Machine, welcome to the chat. So yeah, there could be that we could save the Argos, but I don't see Toronto maintaining two football teams. NFL is really digging into international games more than previous seasons. You're right. I think it's been like a big trend in other leagues too. Like the NHL just did an international, well, not just, but a little while ago they did a series of games overseas. I know the Senators were in Sweden for a few games. I can't see the league ever expanding to Europe, because on the continent is one thing, but I can't ever see teams traveling over the ocean on like a weekly basis. But it's still really cool for what's the word? Exposure, I guess. I don't know if the NHL needs exposure in Sweden, but I like that the NFL are hitting the road. I think it's fantastic. I know recently they did this thing where they like assigned markets to teams, and I forget who like my part of Canada got. I would imagine the Bills would make sense. It's probably the Bills. It's the only thing that makes sense. But yeah, it's great that they're getting over to Europe as well. And have they gone anywhere beyond Europe? That's right, the XFL and USFL merger. Sports politics, you might say that sarcastically, but I find them I mean, you've seen the channel. I find them fascinating. Although they can sort of ruin sports sometimes. Jags play in London all the time now. Okay, so I guess the Jags were like assigned London or England as a market, which is an interesting link. I don't know. I can't. Surely there are other teams that are like a better market fit for England or Europe, but you know, the Jags can use all of the exposure and the support that they can get. Let me pop, because I see that this is going to be Ferguson and Paddy, isn't it? See that they're about to take the stage here, take on the octagon. So let me put up another poll. I'm behind on this. I'm gonna get the hang of things. I was just excited. I thought I'd come hang out with you guys a little bit tonight while we all try to stay awake for this. So let's talk real quick about for anyone watching who is watching the UFC as well. Actually, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to go. I might just, oh, here they are. What? Okay, here's some spoilers for people who haven't watched the earlier fights. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, we got there. Yeah, I might take down this overlay. I thought I was being cute. But that's all set. And then if I do this, oh, that's not. I'm gonna figure out this streaming, guys, I promise. Moose, you're saying Paddy, he was on GQ earlier this week. Definitely an interesting dude. God bless Twitter, that knockout from Emmett was nuts. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back and see. Am I choppy again? Let me know if I'm choppy again. If I'm choppy again, I'll see if removing the graphic beside my head is gonna help. But I'm looking forward to seeing that Emmett knockout. I'm a fan of Emmett. It is okay. No, you're not. Thank you, Moose. I really appreciate it. Let's see. I mean, there's nothing really I can do right at this point, other than fix my internet for next time. I will see if removing this though helps. Just removing it all together. And we'll see if it becomes any smoother, though. I can't imagine it will. Chop, chop. Yeah, okay. So, the note here is that I need better internet. So, I'm seeing. We'll see if it gets any better in the next few seconds, and I'm gonna keep chatting in the meantime. On the X, yeah, I'll have to look for Emmett's knockout on the artist formerly known as Twitter, because I always like him. Like, I don't know anything about him, but whenever he comes up to fight, I'm like, yeah, Emmett. I like Emmett. I hope he wins. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the old man thing. What's everyone got tonight? Drinking, eating, snacking, watching. We've got some college ball on. We've got some UFC on. What's everyone watching? I'm seeing that Ferguson is leading the poll. That's interesting. I think he wasn't the favorite, was he? No, he's the underdog. Paddy never looks like himself when he's about to fight. He looks like someone cosplaying Paddy Pimblett. I'm gonna mute myself for 1 second as I try to scooch over here. I feel like it's still choppy. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Yeah, Moose, water and tacos. That is a solid combo. Tacos are salty. You need that water. I'm sorry for the banging, guys. This is the practice round. I really appreciate you guys being around for the practice stream, even though I think it's being real choppy right now. I'm gonna see about maybe getting some like wired internet for the next stream. This is good. We're learning. What big question, Moose. Are we doing olives on the nachos? This is a very important question. While we wait for the guys to enter the octagon. I filled up on some popcorn earlier. I got snacky and hungry, and I made some popcorn, and that stuff disappeared so quick. Right, so we don't have the stats up anymore. What are they saying though? Pimblett to win by knockout. Oh, I didn't see the rest. I think knockout was the least likely. Is it going to decision? Yes, I am on wireless right now. The problem is that I'm on the second floor. This is such a champagne problem. My router modem, I don't know the difference, is on the first floor and I'm on the second floor. So that is probably hurting. So what I need to do for the next stream is to get wired internet in, because I have access to it. I just need to get a wire in, snake it up to this room, and then plug it in. So the next stream hopefully will be smooth sailing, but I might do another test sometime during the holidays to see how smooth it really is. Jalapenos are good. They're good. I feel like you need something that's like something to cut the salt. And I realized that olives are salty, the olives that they put on nachos. So maybe jalapenos is the answer, is the freshness answer. Did you make them at home? Did you order them in? What's the source of these nachos? Power line adapters. Okay, I will look into that. So is that gonna like boost the signal, or how does that work? I'll write it down. That way I don't need to snake a wire upstairs. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna take a note of that. Oh, so now they're showing this guy. What's this guy's name? Goggins? The running guy? The fact that Goggins is in Tony Ferguson's corner makes me doubt the validity. Listen. I like Ferguson. I like Tony. He's a legend. He's a great guy. He's given us great fights. He's not young anymore, and I say that as someone who's not young anymore either. And you always want to see these guys retire on top, right? Like you don't want them to be sort of forced into retirement. So who knows what'll happen? I'm excited to see. But my pick is Paddy. He's due for a good win. And I'm in the minority here because 80% of you guys think Tony Ferguson is winning. Stats are pretty even though. Ferguson's got a longer reach. Oh wait, you said tacos. You said tacos, and the nacho fan that I am. Oh yeah, you did say tacos. I wanted to see nachos, so I made it nachos in my head. Lettuce, onion, yeah, that's good. So Powerline works by connecting to my router via a power outlet. From there you can connect the other box to get to an outlet closest to you. Okay, good to know. I'll definitely look into this. Yeah, it does seem weird. It does seem weird, but also cool. I was watching, what's that Christmas movie? I think it's called Office Christmas Party recently with, like everyone's in it, like Jason Bateman, everyone, Jennifer Aniston, like everyone. And, they were saying something about getting internet wirelessly through things that connect to power, and I didn't know that that was even remotely close to being possible. So that's very cool. I still, the idea in the movie is surely impossible, but the fact that you can get it from an outlet is just as, or power lines. I can't pretend to understand how it works. Let's turn our attention to the fight for a second. This is what we're gathered for. Paddy doesn't usually have braids, does he? This is a new development for him. I'm listening to, or I'm watching it without listening to it too, so which is odd, and it's on my phone. But let's see what we. Okay, a few low kicks to get started. It's looking good for Paddy right now. Ooh, okay, that was a slip. He's alright. Thanks so much, Moose. I'll, if I have any more questions, I'll find a way to get in touch. Alright, let's see. Let's see about this fight. Paddy very active with the legs right now. Shooting for a takedown. No luck. It'd be interesting. I don't see necessarily Paddy as a grappler. Is he? Oh, thank you, War Machine. I'm not as young or as old as Tony Ferguson. I will say that. I was just backpedaling because I called him old, and he's not that old. I think he's 40. Is that what they said? Yeah, lots of kicks coming from Paddy. I'm trying so hard. I don't know why I decided on a glass for this stream. See, this is another thing we're learning. Plastic glasses for live streams. Paddy is swinging now. He doesn't want to get into Ferguson's range. Ooh, right on the chin. Looking kind of worried, I'll be honest. Although, why wouldn't you be when you're facing off against Tony Ferguson? Absolute legend. Beats, listen, the poll, I think most of the chat is not going for Paddy. Glass is glass, though. That's true, mostly. And if there's one thing we do on this channel, it's keeping it classy. Yeah, you know what? Paddy's hungry. He's the younger man by far. And although he was looking a little worried, he's really unloading now. Oh, Tony's getting some shots in too, though. It's an active first round, which I like to see. And I'm stuck again. At least the stream is moving, isn't it? If you guys are just joining in, this is like our test stream tonight. And big shout outs to Moose for talking me through how to make it faster next time. Literally don't know if there's a sport you don't watch and love. Legend. Thank you so much, Gabe. There are a few. Although I this year I've been getting into rugby thanks to the World Cup. That is nuts. Like you watch that and then you watch American football with the pads and you're like, what? There's a disconnect here. So I'm getting into that one, and I've been slowly getting into cricket over the last, like, really going on a year now. The first test match I ever watched, Paddy is lighting up Tony now. Oh, he's down? He's got 50 seconds to hang in there. He's rolling out, that's good. Is he gonna survive the round? Paddy is just raining down punches now. Is he gonna knock him out? Tony's just back flipping. This is fantastic. This is turning into a great fight, actually. I'm assuming that blood on the mat is from an earlier fight. But my god, if he survives the round, it is lucky. I didn't even see who's... Oh, it's Mark Smith? I think it's his name. I don't know how Tony Ferguson is surviving this round. My god, Paddy really is making a statement at the end of this round. I mean, with that kind of finish to the round, that's a round for Paddy, isn't it? And yet Tony is still on 90% in this poll, so I'm happy to see his fans in here. What was I saying? Yes, my first test match that I kind of followed. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I followed it. Checked in and out. Was the New Zealand. Now I'm blanking because it's very late and I've had a long day. But ASMR Haka after watching New Zealand rugby. Listen, I don't know if I'm the person to do an ASMR Haka, but I think that'd be super cool game. Warrior saying Team Paddy but love Tony too. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's hard to pick a side in this fight because they're two really fun guys. And I'm going on youth and hunger right now. Test streams are exactly for this purpose. The quality of this stream will benefit future streams. Thank you, Moose. You're absolutely right about that. And I'm super grateful for you guys who are in right now, hanging out with this subpar stream while we practice for the big leagues. Wolfie, hi! Welcome to the chat. I was just saying, this is a practice stream, Wolfie, so I'm glad you made it. Yeah, okay, so we're back into round 2 now. My stream of the fight is going in and out, as I think this stream is as well. Should I close the poll now that we're heading into the second round? I will. And let's see what the final... Oh, I lost it. Oh, there you go. Okay. So we were on 10% for Paddy and 90% on Tony Ferguson. You guys who said Tony, not looking too good for you guys right now. Although you know what? I really want to see a finish from Paddy on this one. think he's gonna keep getting contracts either way because he's such a big personality. But I want his fighting to match his personality. And that's, I think, what's been missing for the last couple fights. I don't want him to go to decision. I want him to, like, put Tony away. And again, if you joined us in the last 5 minutes, I say this as someone who loves Tony. I think he's a legend. One said, yeah, there's not, I was worried people would come here looking for the fights, which is why I think I have it in the description, like, I'm not streaming the fights. Just to watch along, hang out. Let's try to make it to, is Tony winning? My ears, I would say that based on the first round, Paddy, I'm leaning towards Paddy, and now we're halfway through the second round, and Paddy has had Tony on his back for the entire round. So if it keeps going this way, I think Tony's gonna need a finish if he's gonna win this. And I wonder, it makes me wonder if he's going to, if he's thinking of retiring if he loses, and if he's thinking of retiring if he wins. Again, you want to see these guys go out on top. You don't want them to see, you don't want to see them retire after they've been battered for 15 minutes. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't want to get on Dana's bad side. I don't think I've said anything too bad about him. But yeah, I know they're coming. They come after people who try to share his beautiful work with the world. So yeah, I was worried that people would come here thinking I was showing the stream, and so I put it in asterisks in the description. But we're just hanging out tonight and watching the stream together, and hopefully not falling asleep in the next couple hours, although we're already on the second fight. My stream is lagging. Yeah, Divorce, we were just talking about how this is a test stream and how we'll improve for the next one. So I'm definitely aware of the lag, but thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Definitely seems like an internet problem. I don't think it... Moose, tell me this. It wouldn't be like a hardware problem, would it? Because I'm just on a laptop. I'm on a MacBook, but I think it should be able to handle the stream. So hopefully it is the internet and not the hardware. Just glancing down at the fight, and Paddy still has Tony on his back, so I think that's a write-off for this round. I'm saying it's 2 rounds. 2 rounds to Paddy. I'm sure people will be arguing that this is a 10-8 round, but it's not like Paddy's doing much damage anyway here from the top, so I'm calling this 2018 going into the 3rd round, and we'll see if Tony comes up with anything. You would argue it is hardware. No. Fair enough, Moose. In a way, it is a hardware. It's the hardware, but not the expensive hardware. It's that I'm missing some much cheaper hardware, which is the preferable answer here. If you blink during the skipped frames, then it's the most smooth stream ever. Evan, first of all, welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream, and yeah, you know what, I'm here talking about internet connection and hardware and all that stuff. It's on you to blink at the right time. You're right, Evan. Thank you. Probably see the difference going hardwired instead of wireless. That's what I was thinking, Moose. A while ago, probably in the summer, when I was thinking about making videos again, I was like trying to think about the distance between this room and where the router is. or modem. I'm sorry, I genuinely don't know the difference. And I was like trying to calculate whether it'd be realistic. I like Googled like what's the longest that an internet cable can be. So we'll figure something out. I think I can like literally just snake it up the stairs and plug it in. But I'll look into that other thing that you mentioned, Moose. I have it written down, so I'm all set for that. Usually that is the problem. Wireless streaming is weaker than going full wired. Yeah, makes sense. Evan, if you close your eyes, that's even better. That's, go to sleep. Go to sleep and leave the stream on. So, we're in the third round now. If you're watching along, now I'm at 4 minutes on the stream. So, don't know if that gives you an idea of what the like sync is like for you watching at home. I just realized that from the back, Mark Smith looks exactly like David Goggins. David Goggins in Tony Ferguson's corner is a waste of a cornerman, if you ask me. With all due respect to Goggins, I respect what he does. What he's done for himself and the business that he's built, but he is not a UFC cornerman. And it's evident by the fact that Tony is back on his back. Unfortunately, it's starting to look like it's going to be a decision for Paddy. And I say unfortunately because I was saying earlier, I would really like to see him get a finish. But it's starting to look like a decision. 30-27. There's always going to be that one judge who gives a 10-8 round. It's going to be like 30-27, 30-27, 30-26. But it'll be interesting to see what Tony Ferguson does. And it'll be interesting to see Paddy. I want his fighting to reflect his personality a little bit more. 60-foot wire for your PC in your last house, so it's definitely possible. Okay, perfect. Try it with games, you'll get your games overall, and that won't suffice for most. Yeah, that's true. And I've been even just like filming the GeoGuessr videos. Did you see I think it was yesterday's video where I was like trying to zoom in on the map and click in, and it was lagging, and thankfully I got a close guess in time. But it's definitely a theme that I'm struggling with here, so maybe a project for tomorrow is going to be to figure out the internet wiring. Bruh, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. Are you watching the UFC, or are you just hanging out with us tonight? For those who are interested in what's going on in the UFC, Tony Ferguson still on his back. Minute 20 left. This is going this way. It's gonna be a Paddy win by decision, but like decisive win. Let's see what happens. So we got the first one, the favorite one. This one, the favorite will win, and then the next fight coming up is Rachmanov and Wonderboy, and we'll have to discuss that one as well, because I was saying at the beginning of the stream that I think the odds, while I think that Shavkat will win, I think the odds are doing a little injustice to Wonderboy. Okay, Tony with 30 seconds left. He was trying to choke Paddy, but Paddy got out. It's those braids making him slippery. Yeah, and now it's just gonna be Tony rolling around for 20 seconds, and then it'll be over. Moose, were you the one eating the tacos? I think you were. How were they? Are they done? Who else is having a late night snack? And actually, that point, the fight's over. To that point, where are you guys right now? Is everyone here in the States? Where are you tuning in from? By the way, I just realized we were talking about glass being class, and I really should have pointed out that the glass, first of all, there's cat hair on the glass, but also the glass, I don't think you'll be able to make much of it on this laggy stream. But can you see that the glass is actually a Burger King? No, McDonald's. A McDonald's glass from 1995 with the Riddler and Gotham, I guess, and the bat signal. So when we say that glass is class, I'm not sure it includes a glass that I've been drinking out of for nearly 30 years now. This actually is a glass that we acquired in 1995. I'd like to say that it's a recent purchase, but it's an original. It's an original, but it's still classy because it's made out of glass. What are you guys saying here? All water from here, Moose. Good call. Evan, I'm glad my commentary is giving you the full picture. We're going to the decision now. Oh, actually, did I miss the decision? Yeah, Paddy won. Didn't see what the score was, but it was 3-0. I'm keeping my eye on it to see if Tony retires. I don't think he will. Got some leftovers, Moose. That's fantastic. Have some more. Let the initial tacos rest, and then get ready for some more. California, born and raised. So it's math. Is it 8 o'clock over there for you right now? You used to have that one. Yep. So there you go. So you're as classy as I am, Moose. Batman Forever, that was the movie, yeah. The Two-Face one. This is the only edition of it that I cannot ever remember having. I do have a sister, though, so that makes me wonder if we had 2 of them and something happened to the first one. I will inquire about that, because again, this is 30 years ago. This is the one that I really remember growing up with. Thoughts on Newcastle being kicked out of the Champions League? Owen, thank you for asking. Well, I wasn't ready to relive that pain tonight. Listen, it was really tough. Obviously, as a Newcastle fan, I have to say that, first of all, that PSG game should have been ours. That's never a penalty, at least not in England. And then the Milan game was really tough. When we lost Nick Pope ahead of the Milan game, I came to terms with our Champions League run being over. And sure enough, it was. So it's really tough. Even tougher that we're not even in the Europa. But still have to remember how exciting it is that we even got into the Champions League, into Europe in the first place. We realistically weren't expecting to for a couple more years. We were ahead of schedule, so I think we have to wear that proudly and keep moving. Game today was fantastic, 3-0 against Fulham, and we'll see what happens in January. I was thinking we might sign De Gea, and then I saw Mark Goldbridge said De Gea too. It was James Lawrence Alcott who said Ramsdale maybe. So that it'll be interesting to see what happens in January. But yeah, just have to remember how amazing it was in the first place to be in the Champions League and to like put up a fight in the group of death. Pretty, something to be proud of. Right now we're not in any Europe play for next season, but there's still a lot of football to be played this season, so we'll see. And onward and what is it? Onward and forward and onward, something like that. We've got the FA Cup to play still, and listen, we have the longest injury list in the Premier League, so we will. It'll be good to not play 3 games in 7 days anymore. We can definitely use the rest. But thanks for asking, Owen. I could keep rambling on about Newcastle for till the end of this UFC card. So sometimes I'm like, I have the dreams of starting like a Newcastle channel because I can talk and talk and talk about them, but focusing on this channel is plenty for now. 8 p.m. on the West Coast, 11 p.m. here. Evan, I agree. I am sleepy, so I'm glad you guys are here with me to help keep me up for the next hour and a little bit, although we're 2 fights in 1 hour already, so it's moving pretty quickly. I forgot to answer before, but you're in Boston on a business trip, having a good time so far. That's awesome, Evan. How long are you in Boston? It's the weekend now, so hopefully not too much work, some play. You grew up a Swansea fan since your grandma still lives there. Been to the stadium a few times. That's awesome. I'd love to get a Welsh team back up in the Prem. That'll be cool. Looking forward to us. Okay, so Owen, so you're a fellow Newcastle fan then. Yeah, when I saw that pick come through, that draw, I was super excited. I wish I could go and watch that match because that's gonna be something. I always say, whenever I have conversations about sports rivalries, I always use Sunderland as an example, and I would say, like a true rivalry is what you really want from a rivalry is for your rival to actually play against you. So I would love to see Sunderland back in the Prem just so we could play against them more often. So I'm super excited for that cup game, Owen. Evan, yesterday was all business, but today you were a tourist. That's awesome. Half Welsh. That's very awesome as well. What part, I don't know if I know this already, Evan, but what part of the States, if you feel comfortable, are you usually in? And while you guys catch up to that, I'm going to add a new poll, if I remember how to. Here it is. For this third fight, who wins? I hope the typing's not too loud, guys. And how's the choppiness? Is it the same amount of choppiness, or is it getting worse? This is gonna be Shavkat. I hope I'm writing their names correctly. And just put Wonder Boy. So this is what I was saying about this fight. Let me start by saying that I think Shavkat is gonna win. So keep that in mind with everything else that I'm about to say. This is all based on the fact that, like, last time I looked at the odds, Shavkat was on minus 370, which is a pretty heavy favorite. And again, I agree, he's gonna win, but I think it's a disservice to Wonderboy because Shavkat hasn't been tested against a striker like him, in my opinion. And I think Wonderboy can hold his own in grappling. Obviously, I don't think he can win against Shavkat grappling, but I think he could possibly make the fight go the distance. And so that's where my opinion is that we like it's supposed to be such a one-sided fight, but I don't think Shavkat's ever gone 3 rounds. I think he's got finishes for every one of his fights, and I think at the very least it's reasonable to expect this one to go the distance. And in his last fight he got rocked a few times, and Wonderboy is not someone who you want to connect. So I think there's a possibility of Wonderboy getting a really clean shot in or two. Those legs, those kicks, and that could be lights out for Shavkat. So Shavkat's gonna win, but I think minus 370 is not how I see it. Born and live in Newcastle, up the max. Yes, Owen. Okay. Awesome, I love it. Evan, you're from Virginia. We have family in Montreal, so you have family everywhere. I also have family in Montreal, so there you go. Are we siblings, Evan? Alright, how's this poll looking? We're 50-50 on this poll right now. Okay, so some people are leaning towards Wonderboy, which is very exciting. He's walking out right now. I don't have my headphones in, so I can't hear. My setup was intended to be a little bit different. So I was going to have it in one ear, but I don't right now. So I should look at the video and try to guess what they're walking out to. Is that Jack Black? For anyone not watching, I think Jack Black is there right now. I think he's in Wonderboy's corner. If that's not Jack Black, that guy needs to change careers and become a Jack Black impersonator. Maybe distant cousins, Evan, I'll take that. I don't have any Welsh in me though, so not that side of the family. Is Morgan a Welsh name, Evan? Oh, I'm trying to be quiet. That's a mean looking beard on Jack Black or his impersonator. Like, he brushes that out quite nicely. Moose, you're saying a lot of celebs in the audience from what you're gathering. Yeah, although you don't expect that to see them in the corner. And then your president, for a lot of you, I saw him earlier in the audience as well. So Wonderboy came out first, and now Shavkat presumably in his hat. I can do this now. I found something quiet to put my Batman Forever glass on. Yeah, I've never seen as many celebrities in a crowd at once as when I was seeing the Knicks this year. It felt like half of the garden were celebrities. I started wondering how I got tickets to be there. Evan and Morgan are extremely Welsh. Okay, very cool. John Smith over there. Or, well, I was gonna say being named Karin in French Canada, but that's not true. My last name, though, is very, very, very common, specifically in Ontario, in French Ontario. There's like 5 French people in Ontario, and 4 of us have my last name. Shavkat's in his usual blue shorts, yellow details. I'm excited for this fight. I was excited to see Paddy fight again, but that was not as exciting as I would have hoped, especially because he was going up against Tony Ferguson. You expect a banger, but they spent 2 rounds on the ground. This one could be interesting. Lots of striking. I expect Shavkat to try to go in for a takedown pretty early, although he might strike. He might stand for maybe the first round and see if he can get any shots in. I think he has a longer reach, doesn't he? We're about to get to the tail of the tape. Props are saying Shavkat to win by submission is the most likely result, closely followed by him to win by KO. So they're saying it's not going the distance, and this is what I was saying. I think we're all assuming that Shavkat's going to make quick work of it because of his track record. But I think if anyone can at least bring it to a decision, it might be Wonderboy. Okay, so he's got a 2-inch reach advantage, which is not as much as... That's the full wingspan, right? So that's just an inch on either hand, or on either arm. So maybe not a huge advantage there. So, and otherwise, other than the age, a couple of old-timers fighting tonight. But other than the age, they're pretty evenly matched. Obviously, Wonderboy has a karate background, and I don't know as much about Shavkat, but I would assume that he has a grappling background, and that's just based on nationality, so I could be very wrong. Last Tyson fight had a lot of celebs. You're right. That was a big one, wasn't it? Just watched the Pimblett versus Ferguson fight. Yeah, and you were hoping for a Ferguson win, weren't you? My ears got a divorce. It's tough. I didn't see, though. I was focusing on the chat, but I don't think there was any retirement speech from Ferguson, right? So I might get another chance. I wonder who he goes to next, though. I wonder who he fights next. If they are looking, because they've been talking about retirement, so I wonder if they're trying to get that retirement fight. Who do they give him? And now I'm seeing the poll is on 50-50. So, as I say, not as clear-cut as the odds would have it. And Jason Herzog is the ref in this one. And I feel like it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually really like Jason Herzog. For the most part, all the refs make mistakes, but I like Jason. Okay, right off the bat. Yeah, just looking at these guys, I would have guessed that Wonderboy had the longer reach, but obviously he doesn't. I think Shavkat is bigger than I always assume. They're feeling each other out for sure. Looks like there was an extra fight in the audience according to Twitter. DDP and Strickland, really? And this fight is in Vegas, right? Interesting. Let me know in the chat, you guys, what fight, what matchup are you looking forward to, or that you'd like to see in 2024? And also, what was your favorite fight of this year? I feel like there weren't as many landmark fights this year. Okay, so Shavkat's got Wonderboy up against the fence, which is what I figured this would turn into a grappling match for Shavkat, but I thought he might spend the first round on his feet, but clearly trying to get Thompson on the ground here. Oh, that was a loud swallow. I don't know if the mic picked that up. I've never seen a UFC fight in person, and I know they're coming to Toronto early in the year, so I'd love to see that, but man, those tickets are expensive. One day maybe. You hope Habib comes back. Probably delusional, but you have hope. Yeah, I'd love to see him fight again. And I won't call you delusional. I'll just say that I don't think he will come back. Just because, I mean, like, it's, if I remember correctly, it's his mom that wanted him to stop fighting. And, he just doesn't seem like the type to change his decision to do what his mother wishes him to do, or not do in this case. But yeah, he was a special one for sure. And I think he opened the door for a lot of these guys, like Shavkat, to come in and participate. He's got Wonderboy's leg trapped right now. They're standing against the fence now. Yeah, it just looks like a really frustrating experience for Wonderboy right now. But you assume they would have prepared for this. I mean, we sort of expected this to be Shavkat's play, right? Again, you don't want to stand and spar with Wonderboy for too long. When you're asking if Joe Rogan is commentating, and I don't actually know, I haven't seen him, but at the very beginning of the fight, when the commentators are like standing together, I was having trouble with the stream and the fight, so I didn't get to see who was commentating. And then I was saying I was planning on listening into the commentary, but I had to make some last minute changes, and I don't have the audio in right now, so I don't know who's commentating. I could probably find out. Oh, I was looking for my phone. I'm watching the fight on my phone. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and do you have some favorite commentators in the UFC? Now that we're at the end of the first round, I'm gonna close this poll. And it's ending on 50, what was it? It's gonna pop up 50 something percent, just a slight edge for Shavkat. Oh, I lost the poll. But that's the end of the first round. Wonderboy's a little roughed up, but I mean, that's just an advantage on points for control for Shavkat, so I'm assuming that's 10-9 for Shavkat after the first round. And the results of the poll were 57% for Wonderboy and 42% for Shavkat. So out of nowhere, Wonderboy came out ahead in the poll. Evan, have I ever done fantasy? A couple of years ago, I thought I was gonna do Fantasy Premier League, and then I don't think I really understood how it worked, or like I got busy and I forgot about it. But I plan on doing it again next year. I just completely forgot this year. The season got ahead of me, and I'd love to try fantasy football. I don't think I'd be any good at it, but I loved the league. That TV show was fantastic. Oh, okay, second round is starting, and Wonderboy is trying to knock him out at this point. And I do plan on doing a bracket for March Madness this year, which should be hilarious because I know nothing about college ball. But it'll be fun, and I'm sure we'll do stuff for the channel. Do you, Evan, do you do any fantasy sports? Okay, and now the fight is back up against the fence. We're not even a minute into the second round, and Shavkat has got Wonderboy back on the fence, although stat just came up. Wonderboy is 3 for 3 on takedown defense. Despite that, obviously Shavkat has the control here, but this is exactly what I was saying. I was saying I'm not convinced that this is not gonna go the distance, because if someone can sort of break that finishing streak of Shavkat, and it's Wonderboy. It's very difficult to finish Wonderboy, to get him, in a submission, and obviously knocking him out is even harder. But Wonderboy, especially like with a lot of these older guys, they go the distance. They might not win, but they go 3 rounds for sure. At the same time, when's the last time Wonderboy won inside of 3 rounds? Is there something in 2019? Or do we have to go back to 2016 to see him winning inside of 3? I know he won. Was it last year? He won after 4 rounds. So it must have been 20. He must have had a knockout in 2019, but I think from 2012. Or am I thinking of Shavkat? I'm getting confused now. It's late. Yeah, I mean, this fight, this is kind of what I was thinking it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a long, drawn-out fight against the fence. Although Shavkat is working something here. Wonderboy's got an arm stuck behind him. Shavkat's holding his arm behind him, so his face is wide open. Now he's got his arm going up, trying to get under the chin of Wonderboy. He's on the chin right now, cranking, sliding under the chin. Wonderboy's gonna tap. He's gonna tap. Is he slipping out? He got out. Okay, he got out. Shavkat's corner is just telling him to pummel. Alright, so impressive submission defense by Wonderboy there, but it wasn't not looking good for him. Evan, you're saying you're big into fantasy football. You have a league with friends and a league at work. Leagues at work are always fun, aren't they? It's a lot of fun and gives you a reason to care about a matchup and players you normally wouldn't care about. Very good point. Very good point. I'm gonna need to look into fantasy football. Again, I'd be terrible at it, but I think I would have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, we'll get some videos coming up on that soon, Evan. Cheyenne, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy it. Just a little hangout while we watch the last card of the year. What is this stat? Significant ground strikes, 15 for Shavkat, 0 for Thompson. You know what though, my theory is holding true. I don't know how to feel about the upcoming 3rd round, but my theory that Wonderboy can bring Shavkat to a decision. Oh, it's not looking good though. Shavkat's digging in for another submission. Can't see what's going on because of the angle. There's 10 seconds left in the round. Oh, he tapped. 5 seconds left in the round, and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson tapped. Shavkat's calling for the 50G. I mean, incredible. Incredible. It was proven wrong. Fantastic. The guy in your league who knows nothing about football auto-drafted his team and got 5th out of 10. So knowledge of players isn't already needed. Yeah, I mean, at least that way you're not let down, right? By like the players that you expect to do well. I used to watch football, NFL football, a lot more actively than I have been in the last couple of years. I think the pandemic is what slowed me down, because I used to like sit on a Sunday from 1 p.m. to nighttime and just watch the NFL. I'd be watching on Monday night, I'd be watching on Thursday night. And now I'll usually go for the primetime games at least, because I'm, for the most part, I'm in bed already by that time. Yeah, I'm not as knowledgeable about the players, especially the young players, as I used to be. Because now I spend like a full half day watching the English Premier League instead. And I'm more selective about the NFL. I'm very curious about what that second half of Cheyenne's question is. I hope I'm pronouncing your name somewhat okay. Alright, Shavkat's getting his arm raised. So that's, what, is that 18? 18-0? The stat's not gonna come up, but I think that's about right. Oh, and while I'm thinking of it, let me put up a new poll for, we're getting into the title fights now, so that's exciting. Pantoja and Royval. There you go. Extra time in here for some votes. What made me want to mix MMA and ASMR? You love it. Thank you so much, Cheyenne. I'm a big sports fan, and I want to get back into making some ASMR videos, and I gave some thought about, because I wanted to do like rambly videos for the most part, because that's what I've been listening to these days. And I think there's a lot of wonderful people doing a lot of great like general ASMR, but I wanted to come back and do something focused and specific, and so I landed on, in my personal life, I spent, I think, more time thinking about and talking about sports than anything else, and so it just made sense. Like I sort of know what I'm talking about when it comes to sports. It's natural. It comes natural, and I don't get tired of it. And MMA is one of those sports I've been watching. I mentioned this in my UFC Champions quiz video, but I've been watching for a while. I started watching when women weren't in the UFC, and I started watching. Mark Wahlberg's in the audience. I started watching for like Gina Carano and Tanya Evinger and those ladies, and then by osmosis started paying attention to what was going on in the UFC, and with GSP being champ, and I'm Canadian. That was I'm sorry if that was loud, guys. That was another connection there as well. And then I started doing Muay Thai, and practiced Muay Thai for a while. Missed it a lot. I stopped with the pandemic, and haven't gotten back into it, although I want to. So yeah, that's sort of very quickly my story with MMA. It was Jack Black's band Tenacious D that walked out Wonder Boy. Okay, cool. See, I didn't notice, and I don't know the name. I should know, but I don't know the name of the other guy. I just saw Jack Black, who I thought was Jack Black, and I was surprised. Getting some tacos, Moose, yes, get that second serving. The poll is 100% in favor of Pantoja right now. So that would be and still. And I think that might be right. I think that might be right, guys. How's everyone's night going? Is your Christmas shopping, if you celebrate Christmas, is your Christmas shopping done? Because that is coming up. I think it was it this morning or yesterday that I went, oh my god, there's 2 weeks before Christmas. And then it clicked that it was yesterday. Or was it today? It was today, because I said, oh, there's 9 days left before Christmas, which is a lot less than 2 weeks. So I gotta get some stuff together. Didn't see many fights this year. Oh, hey Tom. What time is it in? I mean, I don't even know if Alaska has different time zones, but what time is it where you are? You did see Amasav vs. Jackson Bellator 301 when you were on leave. Really hard fought fight with a great showing for Jackson. That's awesome. I need to pay attention to Bellator. I like to see those, you could call them up-and-comers, but they're not really up-and-comers, but you always feel like some of them end up in the UFC, move up a promotion, so yeah, this is like, that's my MMA beginnings were not with the UFC, so I should be paying more attention to other promotions, for sure. Guys, if you're just joining us, I understand that the stream is a little bit laggy, but Moose and I are working it out. And this is a test stream, but we'll be doing another test stream soon to see if we've been able to speed things up a little bit. But thanks for joining me. It is presently 11:37 where I am. I'm glad I've made it this far, at least, because I wasn't sure how late I was gonna be up today. Evan, I did Muay Thai. I used to be able to beat you up, Evan. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any of it is still within me. I've got the mind of a fighter, but the body of a couch potato. It's all mental though, right? It's all psychological. You got into ASMR before you knew what it was. You watched a video by a lady named Alita. She's a massage therapist. That's awesome. Thank you, Cheyenne. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I also sort of got into, I'm sure I've told this story previously on the channel, but I got into ASMR also before I knew what it was. I specifically remember someone, I haven't been able to find her, but I think she was definitely like Northern English, and she used to do these spoof makeup tutorials when like YouTube was popping off and makeup tutorials were a big thing, and I thought she was hilarious, but I also found that her voice and when she would like rummage in her makeup brushes would give me the tingles, but I didn't know, and like I found the video very relaxing, and so sometimes I'd put it on to sleep, and then later on came across another video that gave me the same effect, and then I saw in the comments at one point someone mentioned like, oh, this is unintentional ASMR, and I was like, oh, I gotta Google this, what is it? And this is in the day where like Maria was doing her Russian teacher role plays, and Dimitri was like filming in his closet with a toilet paper roll. I remember the classics. Moose, you're saying that NFL games tomorrow should be fun. I haven't looked at the lineups yet. I know there's a couple of good soccer matchups that I have on my radar, but I'll have to check out the NFL lineups as well. Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you very much. I hope to see you back on these streams and in the comments. Evan, you like couches and potatoes, so you still got it. Thank you very much. Those really are two wonderful things. Here's a question for Evan and the rest of the chat. What is the best form of potato? It could be chips, it could be fries, it could be mashed, it could be baked, it could be a lot of other things. But what is the best form of potato? That's a question for the chat. 7:38 p.m. Dom. Not midnight time. Yeah, it's getting there over here. Hitting minus 30 temps and a lot of snow. Yeah, because you went from like Arizona, didn't you? So that's a huge difference. And when you're saying minus 30, I assume you're saying Fahrenheit. And my conversion skills are non-existent, but minus 30 Fahrenheit would be freezing. Would be absolutely freezing. So with minus 30 Celsius, there's no winning here. So that's nuts. I hope you're staying warm. Moose, you're saying best form is baked. Nothing beats a good baked potato. Okay, that is a strong statement, Moose. Pan-fried potatoes. Now, when you say pan-fried, do you mean like, what's it called? Like latkes? Is that what they're called? Like when you have shredded potatoes and then you make like a little cakey, pancakey thing out of them? I like those. I wouldn't say they're the best form. But I used to work in a place that would make them. Like my office was on the 4th or 5th floor of a building, and there was a restaurant on the ground floor, and they made them, and it would be like a semi-regular thing. I'd go down with some colleagues and get some pan potatoes for lunch. It's got to be mashed potatoes, Evan says. Got some gravy on there, and that's the height of luxury. Yeah, mashed potatoes are in my top 3, Evan. I agree. Dom saying sweet. Yeah, I thought it was cold here, Dom, but I do not envy you for that. Oh, so Dom, you're saying sweet potatoes are the best. That's what you're saying. Are you talking in fry form, baked form? I do like a good sweet potato. Chris says poutine. Absolutely. Oh, that's interesting because I like fries. I don't know if fries would be on my top 3 forms of potatoes. But then if we're including the toppings on this, poutine has to be a top 3. I'm not allowed as a French Canadian to have any other option, any other opinions. I just went on mute to cough. I hope that actually worked. Let me know. This is all part of the warm up, the practice stream. Is finding out if the mute button works. Okay, so the poll is 75% in favor of Pantoja as he comes out. and he's holding up his Brazil flag, and I'm getting flashbacks of my most recent GeoGuessr video where I panicked, plopped in the Philippines for some reason, and we were in fact in northern Brazil. Portuguese tricked me. Yeah, I have to admit that I'm less knowledgeable about this weight class and about Pantoja as maybe others. So I'm looking forward to seeing them put on a bit of a showcase here. And then we've got the big one, which is a bit of a weird fight to end the year on. Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. I do have opinions though on that one. Chris says your Nova Scotia Putin is still massive here. Now, Chris, what is it in Nova Scotia? I don't know if I've heard this right. I know they do this I think they do this in Newfoundland. But tell me if they do this in Nova Scotia. Do they put shredded mozzarella on the poutine instead of curds? Because that is a sin. Is the ASMR channel a hobby for me? What do I do for work? So yeah, the ASMR channel is definitely a hobby right now. Although that being said, this is a conversation for another time, but I think I just qualified for the YPP. But then I think there are challenges with the YPP, particularly with ASMR videos, because my understanding is that now creators can't choose not to have post-roll ads, which seems like an awful thing for ASMR videos. So we're gonna have a bigger discussion about that another time. But my background actually comes. My background is in like media, television production, and sort of during the pandemic, I transitioned to marketing. But I do miss working in production, and so this kind of lets me dip my toe back into that a little bit. Do I watch F1? You find it hard to keep up with live events, given the events are worldwide, and with that comes time zones. I absolutely agree with that, Moose. At the beginning of this, like the most recent season of F1, I thought, I was like, yeah, I'll get into this, and I find it super interesting. I find it fascinating. But the same as what you're saying, I just found that I couldn't keep up with it because it's always a different time, and it's, but I do find it really interesting. So sometimes I'll sort of tune in when I can and when I think about it. And I love to, like, I have a friend who is like subscribed to a streaming service that has all of this different info presented, and I found that really fun. But I don't know very much about it. Baked, Tom is saying baked is amazing, fried is good too, but you need to try poutine one day. I think poutine counts as French fries, right? There's something special, and Chris is saying you use curds. Okay, good. Tend to like additional topping too over just regular poutine, like pulled pork, burger. Is that donair meat? I know donair sauce is a big thing in the Maritimes, isn't it? Yeah, you'll find a lot of places here too that, like most poutine places or chip trucks or whatever, will offer other toppings. And this is a note for Dom, for when you do try poutine. Sometimes you just gotta go, especially for your first poutine, you gotta go with the original. KS Ho, it's not just you, it's everyone. gonna work on that lag for next stream for sure, but it seems to be my internet connection that's a little bit too slow. So if you're here for next stream, I'm gonna have a wired connection. That's the goal. So this fight is just about to get started. Royval's jumping around. Oh wow, they're going at it right out of the gate. I love active fighters. I know the commentators like to say, oh yeah, they're feeling it out. It's all part of the. I want action. I mean, can we all agree that one of the best fights ever was Joanna and Whaley? That's in my top 5 easily. But you want to talk about active? Those two were active. Evan, have a very, very, very good night. Thank you so much for all your support, and we'll see you in the comment section, and soon enough for another stream. But have a good night, Evan. Thanks for hanging out. I'm you know what, to be fair, I'm glad this card is going by relatively quickly, but also it's almost midnight now, because I am sleepy, and we've got 2 5-rounders coming up. Paul had Pantoja on 72% here, so compared to the other polls we've done tonight, this one is pretty decisive in Pantoja's favor. Thanks for everyone who's been voting. Yeah, Cheyenne, I agree. At least for me, even though it's a title fight, it's definitely the one. Even considering the Emmett fight that was moved up to the main card, still the one I was least excited for. But I thought that was just me because of the weight class. Which, to be fair, I like this weight class. I just haven't been super interested in the last couple of years. We're missing personalities, I think. Which is, I think, very important in this sport. So we're on the mat now. Pantoja getting up though. Trying to find an opening here. Sort of keeps getting back up. Royval is swinging legs to keep him out of his guard. But eventually, I can't make out who the ref is. Eventually, something's gonna have to happen. Yeah, Cheyenne, I agree. There is a rather big stigma, but I think there's more and more of a delineation between the people who do sexy stuff and the people who don't. And I mean, like, I've always got the crew neck up to here, so I don't necessarily feel like there's a danger of that misunderstanding on this channel. But yeah, it's kind of something that you hold close to you, and that you share selectively. I think I was more concerned about explaining ASMR to my family than to my colleagues, because again, like, my family, they don't watch ASMR, and so I was like, okay, if they don't get it, or if they go and look into ASMR and they run into the schmixy stuff, then they could get the wrong idea. But it's gone really well, and I don't think many people in my life really watch many of my videos that know about the channel. I know my dad watches every video, but I think he's really the only one. So that's worked out nicely. Jordy says, as a born and raised Las Vegas resident, I'm glad to see so many sports teams arriving. Yes, sir, including your beloved Raiders. You plan on visit any of the stadiums there? I would absolutely love to, Jordy. I think I was there in would it have been 2018? 2018 or 2019, one of those years, and I think T-Mobile was just being built. Let's see, the Golden Knights are 2017, right? So maybe T-Mobile was already up. I really do want to go visit them though, and especially the Raiders, because to a certain limit, a hockey arena is a hockey arena. Even though I could also argue against that myself, but yeah, I'd love to go back to Las Vegas anyway, and while I'm there, I'd have to go and see some sports for sure, because I feel like if anyone puts on a good show, it has to be Las Vegas, right? Tom says, how cold does it get over there where I'm at? I remember you saying there's like a second winter in February, which I now understand what you mean after being here in Alaska in 3 years. Yeah, February is definitely, you get kind of like, you get kind of an eye of the storm at the end of January, and then February just attacks. It'll go down, like with the wind chill, it'll go down to about, on a regular basis, minus 25 Celsius, and then you'll get the cold snaps where it goes down to like minus 40, minus 42, and it's a very, is it humid cold? It's a cold that like gets to you, it gets into your bones, but and it doesn't help when the sun goes down so early as well, so you don't have any of that like natural heat on you. But definitely warmer than Alaska, I bet. I'm glad you agree, Cheyenne. Yeah, the schmutzies, as you say, are giving a bad image, but I think as ASMR is getting, it's pretty well known now. I think there's more and more of that divide, and I think people are getting the fact that there are two different sides to ASMR. Jordy, I for sure skip the nights. You're a Kings fan. I'd love to see the Kings as well. Love to see the Kings. I know Matthew Perry was half a Kings fan, half a Senators fan, and I grew up a Senators fan, so I'm gonna have to see the Kings at some point. I don't know if the stream is still streaming. I hope it is, despite its lagginess, because my feed of the fight is buffering right now. Oh, and it's back now. It's back now, and Pantoja is still on top. They're in the middle of the octagon now. So no fence to help Royval get anything done. But Pantoja is just sort of lying on him and keeping his weight on him and not doing any. He's not active. So I wonder how long he's going to be able to get away with this. It's kind of a shitty way to keep the belt, if you ask me. Just lay on a guy for 25 minutes and wait for the bell to ring. See, this is why I was saying I'm not really paying attention to this weight class nowadays, because it's not, you used to get these like really, I don't know how to say it, like spunky, the word, just like these really active guys that would go out and destroy each other. And now I'm literally just watching Pantoja putting all his weight on Royval, and I haven't seen him throw a punch since we got here. He's putting all his weight on Royval. He's tucking his head in. Royval is active, so hopefully this is going to be reflected in the points for this round, because although Pantoja is on top here, he's not doing anything at all. This is a very disappointing fight. Jordy says, people hated you so much for not switching, seeing as you grew up here. But they all made fun of you for watching hockey before we had a team. See, there you go. You can't just be a hometown supporter. You've got to... If you're supporting a team, you can't just switch because a closer team is coming by. So, fantastic. Oh, Mark, thank you so much for dropping a comment in the chat. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, no, I think, Jordy, I fully back you sticking with the Kings. Can't just switch when something shiny and new comes along. And it must have been especially hard to watch the Golden Knights win the cup so quickly. That's the end of the round, and my god, was that boring. Well, not boring, but odd and disappointing. Yeah, I enjoyed watching the Golden Knights, but I think you did the right thing, Jordy. Moose says the energy of being in person at a combat sports event, there's nothing like it. Yeah, see? Someday I'll find my way at some combat sport event. It's just so expensive. But who knows? Maybe I'll find my way to some tickets for Toronto at the beginning of the year. Even the amateur hockey games are fierce. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm making a point. If you saw my video about all the sports I watched this year, the last game I saw was a junior hockey game in a town in Quebec called Sherbrooke, and it was so much fun. Live sports are just, they hit on a different level. Jordy, it was terrible, yeah, but you were happy for the city. That's true. Like, just being around the vibes, the celebration is so much fun. I remember I was in Toronto when the Raptors won the championship, and it was like nothing else. It was crazy. It was so good. And I also I used to live in an Italian neighborhood in Toronto, and when the World Cup would come on, when the Euros would come on, you'd hear the Italians celebrating at all hours of the day and night. And yes, it's just nice to be, even if it's not your team, it's nice to be amongst the celebration and the happy. I just like seeing people being happy. Makes me happy to see people being happy. Alright, where's this fight now? It's every time I glance down at the fight, Pantoja is just kind of laying on Royval, but there's been a reversal now, and Royval got on top for a second, but it just seems like he's not as strong as Pantoja, and he couldn't stay there, so now they're standing and trading again. Pantoja's sort of backing up. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this is being scored, because while Pantoja technically has control by being dead weight on top of Royval, he's not as active as Royval. We need some fresh blood in this category, in this weight class. Who are some of my favorite MMA fighters currently active? Who do I like? I do like Leon Edwards. I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight, but know, like Whaley has been one of my favorites ever since she came into the UFC. And that's really the one that stands out to me. Like, I don't know that I have anyone that I really, really like more than anyone else. Which again, it just feels like we're in this weird era of UFC and of MMA. I don't know if the world of MMA is becoming overset. I don't know what it is. But I feel like we used to get some bigger personalities, some more likable fighters, some more active fighters. And right now it just feels like a lull for me. And so no one immediately jumps to mind. My go-to though is GSP. But I'm biased, I'm Canadian. Am I a fan of extreme sports? Asks Dom. Tried skateboarding when you were young, but you never could get the hang of it. I snowboarded when I was young, and I've been saying that I want to learn to ski now because, again, just something I think about aging makes me less interested in sticking both of my feet to a board and heading down a hill. So I'm determined to learn how to ski this winter. I also did some mountain biking in British Columbia this summer. I was in Whistler for, was it a week and a half? I just lost my headphones, guys. Hold on. This is how you know it's getting late. I'm falling apart. Oh, that must have been so loud. I'm so sorry, you guys. Yeah, I tried mountain biking. I love it. The problem is I don't have the upper body strength for it. But I love, like, I'll watch skateboarding. I'll watch anything really. I find it fascinating. It's a whole other skill set that we are not used to seeing in pro sports. So I'm glad it's getting still today getting more and more recognition, you know, skateboarding at the Olympics. So yeah, who is it? I actually recently, I think I have maybe even a note of it on my I think I have like a screenshot that I took because I was like, this is uncanny. Sean Malto and I, if I do this, if I cover my lower half of my face, this is the same as Sean Malto. We've joked, not really joked because it's true, but we've talked on the channel in the past about how I bear a certain resemblance to Marc-Andre Fleury. I also have the same upper face part as a skateboarder called Sean Malto. So there you go. Where was I in the chat? Hi Zane, welcome to the chat. Thanks for dropping a message. Umit, I hope I'm pronouncing your name okay. I definitely plan on doing more streaming. This is so much fun, and we will improve the quality of the stream for next time, for sure. And I've thought about making shorts, but I always wonder if people who watch shorts and people who watch full-length videos, if there's a big crossover there. So you guys let me know in the chat if you watch long form and shorts, because I think they could be fun, and I've had a couple ideas of what we could do. Jordy says your uncle Daryl Lennox lived in Vancouver. He always enjoyed the sports culture. Have you noticed a difference between nations when it comes to fandom? Oh, definitely. And I mean, I can't say, I haven't lived outside of Canada, but just paying attention to sports, definitely get different vibes in different countries and cultures. And especially, like I mentioned, in my wrap-up video of all the games I saw this year, that when I saw a CF Montreal game, where they were playing against a Mexican team, Las Pumas, I was really in awe of the away section of the Las Pumas supporters. And also I've been last year I went to Manchester, or I was in Manchester. So I saw Newcastle play at the Etihad, and then I also went to see the Women's FA Cup final at Wembley. And man, I wish sports fans here were more like sports fans in the UK and in Mexico. I think the fan cultures there are just a lot more, I don't know, rabid, but like in a good way, and in the best way. In Canada, fans tend to be, a little quieter, more reserved. Just generally, I think that's how we are as people. So, do I think Ten Hag gets sacked if United gets hammered tomorrow? Very interesting question, Chris. Oh, just looking at the fight here. It looks like Pantoja might have something. He's cranking on Royval's neck. He's not under the chin, but... Oh, and it's out. Yeah, we're in the 4th round now, so this has been 20 minutes of Pantoja holding Royval down and not doing much else. At least he's going in for some submissions here, and it looks like he's under the chin now, so this might be it if he has any strength at all left in his arms. But Royval is fighting. Oh no, he's not under the chin, and Royval is fighting it, so we're just gonna keep going. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to my dad, who I just found out is watching. I don't know what you're doing up at midnight, but thank you for watching. Je t'aime. Chris, to answer your question about Ten Hag, I think the sack is that something I can say? I think him getting the sack is inevitable. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow though, because do they have Liverpool tomorrow? I feel like you can excuse a loss to Liverpool. I don't think he's gonna finish out the season though, which is a shame. I mean, how many managers have United gone through in the past few years? Clearly, the manager is not the only problem, and I think Ten Hag is world class. Did I hear rumors of the England manager, Graham Potter, maybe coming over? I think that would be shambolic. I think that would be horrible. I don't know that Man United can do much better than Ten Hag right now. Again, Ten Hag is world class. Anyone would be lucky to have him. So I think they need to fix some bigger problems. So to answer your question, Chris, I think you can pardon a loss to Liverpool, but with the Champions League loss and just the way this season has been going, I think something's gonna happen soon. But I'm excited to see what Man United does in January as well. Cheyenne, any advice on becoming a better speaker? That's a very good question. I don't know that I'm a particularly strong speaker myself. the old piece of advice is imagine them naked. I don't know that that's the best thing. I think you just have to remember that whoever's listening to you is they're people just like you, and so while it can be intimidated to speak in front of people, I think if you can imagine yourself in their shoes, fully dressed, I think it helps a lot. Just reminding yourself that there's no reason to be intimidated, which is easier said than done. But I think there's a certain level of self-confidence that what you're saying is valuable, and if people don't want to listen to you, they don't have to. So, just remind yourself that you're speaking for people who do want to listen to you. I think that might be my best piece of advice, which hopefully is useful to you or someone. Jordy, you're actually in Mexico right now, and the Buffalo Wild Wings next to your hotel. It was crazy for the match they were playing. That's awesome. You know what? I didn't even know that Buffalo Wild Wings was in Mexico. Those guys know how to support their team, that's for sure. Quick glance at the fight shows me that we're in the 5th round. Royval has Pantoja against the fence, but they've just broken off, and can neither of these guys get the belt? It's no disrespect to Royval either. I think Royval would be more active against a different opponent. I think it's really tough against Pantoja. Dom, you're saying mountain biking. You're so afraid to do winter activities with injuring yourself. Your job can be strict as it requires annual safety briefings. I bet, yeah. Nice to know that people are, worried about your well-being. But also, I can see how it would be limiting. Mountain biking takes a surprising amount of upper body strength, an unfair amount. And you want to try capoeira next year. I feel like capoeira, I feel like your job might be more okay with that. I think it's so cool. I think it probably takes like a really interesting skill set, because you have to be like agile. You have to be very strong, obviously. I feel like it's maybe on the same level as yoga in that sense. You're gonna have to keep me posted on your capoeira journey, because I'm so curious. 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes left in this fight. It looks like maybe, see, Pantoja's right back to just laying on top of him and not moving. It's so disappointing. Like, that's, I understand that it's strategy, but you're not, doing much to show that you're the undisputed champion if you're just heavier than a guy and relying on just stopping him from doing anything by being heavy. It's like a competition of I can cut more weight than you, so I get to hold on to the belt. Yeah, well, a minute to go. I'm assuming it's gonna be a decision in favor of Pantoja, just from what I've seen, what I've been glancing down. But it's a bad sign when it's a fight that I can pass on watching. Jordy, every time you travel internationally, you're automatically searching for McDonald's. That's cool though, because I feel like different countries have different McDonald's menus. Have you found anything interesting in McDonald's in other countries? Because you're saying Philippines and Japan. Mexico overall has tasted the best, but Japan has the Big Mac on lock. They made the sauce right there in front of you. Okay, so it's the sauce. It's the sauce in Japan that does it. That's interesting. Have you seen any like fish on those menus in Japan? I haven't watched them in years, but I used to watch Good Mythical Morning, like back in 2013, 2014. And they used to do those videos where they would get different menu items, like for example from McDonald's, and then they would have to like throw a dart at a map where they thought the item came from. Pretty sure they had a McDonald's edition of that series. Are they even still, if anyone knows, are Red and Link still active? I bet they are. Someone told me like last year that Red was doing music or something now, and he's got like long hair and a big beard. Alright, while we wait for the results of this fight to come in, I'm gonna put on our last poll. And this is gonna be for the final title fight of the year, the final fight of the year. And it is between Leon, let's just put his last name, Edwards, and Covington. Okay. The stream is super stable, says Moose. That's awesome. That's good to know. Thank you. I don't know what it is. I haven't done anything different. But thank you very much for the update. We'll see. We'll see what we can do moving forward. But I'm really glad to hear that it's finally stable just in time for the last fight. And they're about to put the belt on presumably Pantoja. So let's see. I'm just gonna wait and see whose arm comes up. It's taking a lot of time, which makes me think that maybe there was some confusion. Pantoja's corner putting their arms up. It's gonna be in still, yeah. I wonder, I'm looking forward to seeing what the scorecards are like. But I wasn't really paying attention to this one. The quality is way better in other countries than here in the States. Your family went to the one in Sweden and it was like a fine dining fast food experience. That's interesting. I wonder if it's like what they have to do to actually get people to eat there. I feel like the Canadian McDonald's are probably the exact same as the American McDonald's, other than a few things that don't really matter. Like I know we can't something about dairy products and like milk specifically. I think we can't have American milk in Canada because of something that's in it. So the actual milk boxes are different, but I think for the most part it's the exact same. Yeah, so Pantoja won this one, and now I'm having a glance at the poll for tomorrow for the next fight. Oh, it's getting late, and the votes are 67% in favor of Edwards, which I'm glad to see because Covington was the favorite in terms of odds going into this fight. When I looked earlier, he was on minus 185. Whoever was asking if Rogan was there earlier, I can confirm he is there. He's doing the in octagon interview with Pantoja right now. Got a little beard going. What was I saying? It's getting late, you guys. When I did Muay Thai, did they do local tournaments in my classes? My gym. Oh, I remember I was talking about the Colby Covington fight, so I'll get back to that. that. But to answer you, Dom, they didn't do like tournaments in the classes, but we had like active fighters at our gym. So I think the way it was set up, at least in Toronto, is that you pick a team or a gym to go to, and then each gym will have like a few select fighters who are active in the fighting community, and so they'll do fights against people from other local gyms, and then like bigger like province-wide tournaments, country-wide tournaments, etc. So we definitely had some people at the gym who were active fighters, but it wasn't like within the gym there would be a tournament. We never did that, and I'm sure some of the gym's fighters at some point fought against other fighters from our gym, but it wasn't like a recreational thing. It was real sanctioned fights. So I never trained to fight. It's fun to think about, but I never got to the point of wanting to get punched in the face for real. What I was saying about Covington, now the poll is on 50-50, is that he was the favorite going in. He was on minus 185, and like I know he's been interim champ, and I know there's not a lot of buzz around Leon Edwards, but I don't know that I've seen anything from Colby that tells me that he's capable of winning or of being a considerable favorite. I also tend to have just a general, not negative, but not positive opinion of Colby. I mean, the whole thing is, if you're gonna be a heel, don't talk about the meta of it. Like, Connor never came out. I mean, Connor's had ebbs and flows where he's come out a couple times trying to be like the reformed good guy. But that's the thing, is that Conor McGregor never talked about his approach, his personality approach to the sport. He never talked about, like, specifically actively trying to be a heel. Whereas Colby has come out being like, oh, well, this is a character. And it's like, if you're gonna be a heel, you gotta be ready to be a heel and just own it until you retire. But then he keeps up this act. So I just don't know what to think about that kid. I say kid, they're about to show the tail of the... No, not yet. I'm curious if he's got to be around 30, right? Jordy. So we have an MMA bracket, and we had Leon beating Usman, but then losing his belt to Colby. After what he said about his dad, though, I need Leon to do his thing. I know, right? I mean, again, that's the thing. Is that I just can't get behind Colby ever. Oh, thank you, Shavkat. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you found us again. It's good to be back. I've been having a lot of fun. And thank you again to you guys who've been hanging out tonight. Definitely heading to bed after this final fight. It could be a long one, though. It'll be interesting to see. Hey, Evan. Hey, Agnos. I don't mean to dox you. Hey, Agnos. I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad you made it in time. It's always good to see you. Jordy, Colby always was a decent fighter, but almost got out because they thought he was boring, so he turned it on by up by 10,000, and that's the thing. I can respect that, but don't talk about the meta. I don't want to watch a movie and have Meryl Streep just pause pause the movie for a second and go, hey guys, I'm acting, and then just go right back into it. I know she's a good enough actress to do it. I don't want to be taken out of it. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm having a fantastic night. It's really fun to be on the stream. I'm definitely going to be doing more of these. You guys have been so awesome for hanging out. How's everyone's night going? We're officially into the morning now, but I agree that a night is a night until the sun comes up. I was gonna say until you've slept, but I went to college. I went to university. Sometimes the morning comes before you sleep. Yeah, Jordy, and that's the thing, Jordy, right, is that like MMA is real. It's not pro wrestling, and we have to keep a very clear delineation there, I think. But I think it's also fine when fighters, amplify their personalities. We'll put it that way. But again, you just have to own it, and you can't break that character just because this is not an area where you should get to break character. If you choose to use a character or an exaggerated version of yourself for popularity and for brand's sake, yeah, I mean, Deadpool can do that, but only because that's a very specific flavor of character. Exactly. And also not a real guy. It works for Deadpool because it's funny. Colby, in my opinion, has not made it funny. Colby, when he came out and admitted to being a character, to being a heel on purpose, I didn't find it funny. I found it sad. But again, I understand what he did. I understand why he did it. He was on his way out of the UFC, and desperate times. But here he comes out now. Suppose with how much of time is spent in training and promotion versus the minutes in an actual fight, image is a huge part of the career. Yeah, exactly. I think fighters just love channeling their inner heel, the cocky ones, that is. Yeah, and it can work. It can work if you do it well. We were talking about Paddy. To be fair, I get the sense that Paddy is very much like this in his real life, in his personal life. It's just the scouser in him. But yeah, there's, I don't know. See, now we need an ASMR MMA role play, but I'm always breaking character. That would be fun. That would be fun, Jordy. Just like a heel who's always just like, but I'm not serious. Just trying to sell a fight. And especially when you're saying stuff like the kind of stuff that Colby is saying. You can't say those things and then break character and go, but I'm just selling a fight, and then go right back to saying those things. He's getting all ready though, getting ready to enter the octagon. It should be for all of the I don't think we've been hating on Colby, but for all of this talking, I think this should still be a really good fight. Former interim UFC welterweight champ. Oh, there you go. Checking in with the president before he enters. I should say the former president. I think I called him the president earlier. He's not the president. think American history stopped for me at Trump being president. I wish I heard his walkout song. He's strutting in there. But Leon still has to come out, and the poll right now is on 67%, 67%. Guys, my eyes are open, but the brain is falling asleep. The poll is on 67% for Leon. Jordy says, I'm gonna drag you down the 7th layer of triggers. I don't know how relaxing a smack talking heel would be, but it works. I remember there was a time, it might still be a thing and I'm just not aware, but I remember there was a time where there was like this trend in ASMR where people were doing like kidnap role plays and stuff like that. To each their own. I do not feel relaxed when someone is even pretending to hold me against my will. TJ says it's the Kurt Angle You Suck song. Fitting. Thank you for the update. I might pop these out for a bit. I've just been listening to my own voice all night. Okay. Everything has gone red for Leon's walkout. Or has he already walked out? I don't think he's already walked out. I don't think I've looked away for that long. The only time I can really remember... Here he comes. I don't think I've ever watched an MMA card on mute before. This is very interesting. I can just create a storyline in my mind. Like right now, I can just pretend that Leon is walking out to 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. I'm excited for this fight. I'm on Team Leon. I'll say it. And we're back on 50-50 in the poll. This is very exciting. Does anyone have any sort of what's the word that I'm looking for? Any arguments in favor of or against any of the fighters? I just watched Edwards go up to 55% in the poll. This is very exciting. Thank you everyone for voting. If you don't, if you're just hanging out and you don't watch MMA or the UFC, still go in the poll and vote. Vote for whichever name seems like the likeliest to win. Does the name Edwards inspire confidence? Or does the name Covington inspire confidence? You tell me, America. Oh, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Carrie? I think it's Carrie. Yeah, we gotta switch things up around here. Which fight was exciting earlier? Was it Shavkat was the one that was more active? I think this one's gonna be good though. Am I Brazilian? No, not at all. Although I can see my name kind of looking Portuguese. Like I know Ariane. I'm French. I'm French Canadian. But I know Ariane is also a name that works and that's written the same way in French. So I could see how that would make sense, and I'll take Brazilian. If you think I'm Brazilian, I'll take it. When I was at the Etihad for that Newcastle game, the guy sitting next to me thought I was Argentinian. I loved it. Dom says, saw a video of Paddy training with the Marines. Interesting. would be such a cool experience if that happened at our squadron. I would not be making it training with Paddy. Yeah, that would be so much fun. I'm gonna have to look for that video, Tom, of Paddy training with the Marines. I bet it would be so cool to have someone. I'm looking at the tail of the tape here. Leon has a 3-inch height advantage, and that's about it. 2-inch reach advantage, that's not much to speak of. Edwards is 32 and Covington is 35. The guy I called a kid is older than I am. Yeah, Tom, it would be really cool. Oh, you were saying, yeah, on the other hand, would not making it training with Paddy. I think it'd be super cool to have someone, either an MMA fighter or just an actor training for a role or something. That'd be super cool. Owen just watched Kickboxer. Van Damme is the GOAT. What did you think, Owen? Have you seen other Van Damme movies, and how did it compare? Carrie says Irene Aldana versus Carol Rosa was very good. I haven't seen it. Was that earlier tonight, Carrie? If it is, because I think Irene was fighting earlier tonight, and I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch the prelims either tomorrow or later in the week. TJ says, I think if Leon can stop the takedown, he should dominate on the feet. Yeah, I mean, Colby is a wrestler not by trade, but his background is in wrestling, right? I think you're onto something there, TJ. Kind of tend to agree with that. The poll is still on 55% for Edwards. For Leon, I'm going to keep the poll open until the end of the first round if we get to the end of the first round. Well, this is a 5-rounder, so maybe we can leave it open a little bit late. Again, thank you so much to all of you guys who've been hanging out tonight for the practice stream. I've been having so much fun. I did not prepare enough snacks. I'm not hungry. A little bit thirsty. My Batman mug, for those who haven't seen it yet, my Batman Forever glass is empty. This is exciting. I'm excited for this fight. Getting all of the formalities out of the way. How do you guys feel about Bruce Buffer? That's what I want to know. Some Colby fans on camera now. Which, I mean, I guess is more likely. You're more likely to find some Colby fans just because we're in the States here. Leon training out of Birmingham. Owen says he used to watch Bloodsport as a kid, prefer Bloodsport, but that dance scene in Kickboxer is something else. It really is. I haven't seen Bloodsport yet. I don't think it's streaming in Canada, but I must be able to watch it somewhere with a VPN. But yeah, that dance scene in Kickboxer, wow. To be honest with you, at first, I couldn't tell if he was supposed to be a bad dancer or a good dancer. Because what was this, 89? I'm not that old. I don't know how people danced in bars and in clubs in the late 80s. So, at first I had to sort of wonder if he was being a good dancer. And then when I figured out that he was making the other boys jealous, I understood that was good dancing in the 80s. Alright, here we go. The fight's on. No big moves out of the gate, but Colby is throwing some kicks here. Well, one kick did not connect. Low kicks now. Push kicks at Edwards' shins, but again, they're feeling each other out. Colby has thrown a couple kicks, but hasn't really connected here. Edwards is finding his reach. controlling the octagon so far. Still just feeling each other out with the kicks. Jordy says you love Bruce's suit game. It's only surpassed by Craig Sager. I do look forward to seeing Bruce's what suits he's gonna come up with every time he's on. Not much connecting yet. Colby threw a kick at Leon's head. Leon blocked it. Throwing some jabs here. They're keeping the distance though. Someone's gonna need to bite down and close the distance. Leon just threw an up kick that looked pretty dangerous. So I'd like to see him try that again. It was really snappy. Okay, now they're starting to swing a little bit more. This feels, maybe it's wishful thinking, but it feels like any time they're gonna start firing away. Like I don't see them going into the second round with this same pace. This feels like the first round of a 5. It feels like two fighters who are mindful that they have to go for 25 minutes. But I want to see one of them pick up the pace a little bit here. Dom says, are you doing a Christmas-related history video of any famous televised Christmas board games like your Thanksgiving one? That would be fun, Dom. Do you have any to recommend? The Thanksgiving video, I don't know if I should say surprisingly, but it didn't do all that well. I mean, it was also early days in the channel. I think it was like the second week, third week I was making videos in November. But yeah, it's always fun, right? There's always these big marquee games that stick out. That's a good idea. I was also, I'm kind of looking at my posting schedule for like the week of Christmas and the week, really the week of Christmas, and giving some thought about my posting schedule for those days, because I know people won't really be online as much as usual, but who knows, maybe we can swing a Boxing Day stream or a New Year's Eve stream. That'd be fun. So these guys, so we're down to about a minute in the first round now, and the guys are still feeling each other out. Very, very tough round to score. What do you guys think? For you guys who are watching the fight, do you think who's getting this round? If anything, I'm tempted to say Leon just for octagon control, which if you look at the scoring guidelines, octagon control is way at the bottom of the list of priorities, but not much has happened. They're both kind of connecting on some inconsequential strikes here. This round is really a write-off. I'm giving it to Leon just because he's on the inside, but he got a nice kick to the liver there. I always remember that the liver is on the right side because I'll never forget a time where my cat, this was in my old apartment, so I know my cat was coming from the right side, and she jumped on the couch next to me and landed with her front paws, and somehow she got like right on the liver. I don't know if she went between my ribs or how that happened, but I've never felt such a pain in my life, and so I always know that if someone's getting hit on the right side, they're going for the liver shot, because I will never forget my liver is on my right side. It's kind of like them, like if you've ever had an ulcer, a stomach ulcer, you'll remember that it's on the left side because the pain is just so specifically in one spot. Yagno says, in time there will be legendary NBA Christmas games, but I don't know if there's a big body of work for that yet. Very interesting. I keep looking for my phone and then I realize that that's what I'm watching the fight on. I'm trying to remember if I have a basketball video coming up. I have a few videos planned coming up next that are like multi-sports. So priority right now is I think the video that'll come out on Monday will be regarding contracts, because after that Otani $700 million contract, we have to talk a little bit about that. And then we've got some quizzes coming up, more video game stuff, so a lot of fun stuff. 2K, speaking of basketball, we're gonna have to get into the history of 2K. There's a couple fun or interesting scandals surrounding 2K, and specifically, is it LeBron's tattoo artist? A couple players, their tattoo artists, tried to sue 2K for depicting the tattoos that they designed in the game without compensation. I'll spoil it for you if you've made it to almost 1 a.m. with me tonight. They lost. I think anytime there's been that kind of lawsuits, they've lost it. Because it's like if they have the right to use someone's likeness and the tattoo is part of their likeness, then you have the legal right to depict it in your game. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff to talk about in regards to 2K. Jordy says, if professional MMA has taught me anything, it's that I need to get jacked so people don't notice the hairline. Jordy, I was gonna say, is that shade at Leon or at Colby? But I think it's shade at both. That's too funny, Jordy. I mean, now I'm focusing on the hairline. Colby definitely. Colby's pushing his hair forward, so you know he's hiding something. I'm trying. Leon's got his. Yeah, Leon's receding a little bit too. That's so good. I feel like if you're, these guys, they're just waiting for retirement to get the Beckham hairline. The LeBron's had his done, right? He has to have. Okay, let's focus back in. Jordy says no shade per se, it's just I know what I gotta do now. Fair enough. I think people, clearly Jordy, people notice, they just won't say anything other than in a YouTube comment section. That's too funny. Focus back in on the fight here. I've missed most of this second round, but if it's gone anything like the first round, it's still just Leon in perceived control, although now Colby's pushing him into the center. Oh, and now Colby's taking control. Okay, this is interesting. I've missed quite a few of I don't know if anyone's really connected. Has anyone done more damage than the other in this round? Neither of them are wearing any damage, really. Right now I'm seeing Leon connecting with a couple punches to the head. But both fighters are looking fine right now in terms of damage taken. surprising to see that they've been standing for both of these rounds. They're saying Leon's 10 for 12 out of his leg kicks. So that's gonna look good to the judges. Yeah, no takedowns yet that I've seen, at least. Knows there was a lawsuit following the movie Hangover 2 about the use of a tattoo where the studio settled. But name, image, and likeness law in sport is exactly where things are exciting right now. Absolutely. We're gonna have to talk about NIL in college sports. I think is very interesting. So that's on the list for sure. I'm gonna close. Get your final votes into the poll now, because when the third round starts, I'm gonna close the poll, and Edwards is just ahead with 57% right now. But yeah, NIL is very, very interesting right now, and it's always interesting to see how this sort of bleeds into things like video games, movies. I mean, heck, even just an athlete, basketball players, MMA fighters who have their body art on display. Now the thing is, no one's buying a pay-per-view or buying a video game or watching a movie, giving any money to a movie based on a tattoo showing up. But definitely an interesting and evolving area of sports law and business for sure. Dom says, don't know any on the top of my head, but I bet they're one jewel of a game on Christmas. This Christmas I won't be spending it with my family, sadly. Always took leave in December these past 2 years. Dom, I hope you get to spend it with friends. Are you on a base? Are you going to be with the guys? How's that going to look for you this year? There's always going to be the channel. You'll always have the channel. But yeah, maybe a Christmas time video could be a lot of fun. And there's got to be something, as you say, Dom. Are there very many sports that play on Christmas, though? There's the NBA. I don't think there's any soccer. There's probably some hockey, right? Is there Christmas Day NFL? I feel like there's Christmas Day NFL. Oh yeah, I forgot to let me close the poll like I said I would. And someone did get their vote in, because the final results of the poll are 56% for Leon, 43% for Colby. Very, very tight. As is this fight. Now I want to see something happening now. I'm gonna step in for Herb Dean and say I need you guys to work, otherwise I'm just calling this whole thing off. And I get the belt. Okay, there you go, Colby going in for a takedown now. Doesn't get it though. Oh, now Leon's on the ground. Now Leon's upside down. Colby's really trying to get his back on the mat, and there it is. There it is. So Leon hung on for a while, defended the takedown for a good little while there, but now he's on his back. Colby's working the body. Leon's pushing off, and he's standing. Really, really great defense there from Leon. And now Leon shoots for a takedown. Okay, but Colby's got his head, his neck, and does that count for a takedown for Leon? I think so. Leon's holding on to Colby's legs now. He's doing like the Khabib, where he was trying to lock Colby's legs and hold them. Colby's leg, though, mangled by those kicks. Are you seeing that bruising in the back of his right thigh? He's even like switching stances. Colby's feeling the leg kicks for sure. That thigh is looking nasty. So traded a couple takedowns here. standing back up. They're in the middle of the octagon. Things are starting to heat up now, it feels like. Oh, very good question. What's my favorite holiday commercial? I don't know if this is my favorite, but the one that's top of mind right now is when the Spice Girls were doing, was it an Aldi commercial? Was it Tesco? I forget which store it was, but when they were doing their like reunion, probably 2010-ish, they did ads for like supermarkets in the UK where they were like shopping for each other, and so then they would go, like they would see one of the other Spice Girls, so they would sort of try to hide. That's the one that's top of mind right now. I don't know why. I'm not willing to say it's my favorite Christmas commercial of all time, but it's the one I'm thinking of. Jordy says Leon is chewing that thigh up like pouring gravy on a head. Yeah, he's doing some good work there. The damage in a fight like this is where visible damage actually starts to count and to matter. Because from in the times that I've been looking down at the fight and not at the chat, it's been looking pretty even. But I want to see a little bit more action here. Someone has to bite down. 6 seconds in the third round, and we're heading into the championship rounds. Okay. This is starting to look like a fight that's going to decision, which is never what you prefer or what I prefer for a title fight, or for any fight really, but especially a title fight. So far, who have we had? So Emmett, favorite, won. Paddy was the favorite, he won. Shavkat was the favorite, he won. And Pantoja was the favorite, he won. So if Leon can pull out a win here, he's going to be the only underdog of the main card to win. TJ says, I like the way Leon fights. He always looks so comfortable. It's true. It's true. He doesn't look tired. He doesn't look hurt. And that's the thing about this style, is that even though I'm saying I want to see more action, like Leon is vibing. He knows he's got 5 rounds to go. He doesn't want to tire himself out. Such a weird mix. I just saw Jared Leto over one shoulder and Mark Wahlberg over the other shoulder. Why Jared Leto is always at these fights? He must just like live in Las Vegas or something, and he's like the celebrity that they keep inviting. Jordy says, I know for sure the worst holiday commercial was the infamous Folgers one. Which one was that, Jordy? I'm gonna have to check it out on YouTube after. I don't remember the Folgers commercial. I might Google it. I'm Googling it. I should. And as I look down, Leon has Colby's head in a lock, so I should be focusing on things right now. But quickly got out, and they're just standing in the middle of the octagon again. Jordy, are you talking about the brother and sister Home for Christmas ad? Because I'm gonna keep that open so that I remember to watch it after. Dom says, yeah, we just had our annual work holiday party yesterday. The usual food, drinks, raffle, and ugly sweater contest. A classic. Somebody mentioned it, but we'll check out James Madison Air Force Bowl game. Okay, good to know. I will check that one out too. Alright, how's this fight doing? I just missed some stats. It looks like maybe they were connecting an even amount, but Leon is picking his shots better. He's not swinging as much. Jordy says yes. Okay, perfect, Jordy. I'm gonna check it out first thing after the stream ends. Thank you for putting that on my radar. Alright, where's this fight going? What are we doing here, guys? It's interesting that Leon has light up on the leg kicks. Colby shooting for a takedown here. They're against the fence. Leon is defending. And there you go. Is that a wizard? I don't think that counts as a wizard. Well, and actually, Leon is right back up. I don't even know if that counts as a takedown. Trying to get a hold of something here. He's reaching under Colby's neck. Leon is 6 for 7 on takedown defense, so I guess that did not count as a takedown, which is a really good look for him. And they're back in the middle of the octagon now. Oh, and Herb Dean is pausing it. Maybe he thought it was an eye poke. Colby says, let's fight, so I respect that. Still just standing. Again, Leon's got the middle of the octagon. Oh, nice cross down the middle here by Colby. Colby's a southpaw, I guess. Trying for another takedown, pushes up against the fence. Is Leon gonna defend another takedown? Just looking good for him. Yeah, that leg of Colby's is eaten up. I don't know why Leon's not going for it more. Almost got Colby's back here, but Colby recovers and gets Leon's back. Oh, this is not looking good for Leon here, but there's not much they can do from here. And there's 30 seconds left in the round, so I'm thinking we're going to reset here for round 5. Leon shakes Colby off from the top. And they're standing. 20 seconds left in the 4th round. And they're trading in the middle of the octagon again. There you go. There goes Leon with some leg kicks. Colby answers with kicks of his own. Now they're just trading. They're just sort of letting each other get one hit off, Colby's showing a little bit of blood here on his face, just a little cut on his cheek. Nothing serious, nothing that's gonna look bad to the judges. And as far as I could tell, camera's on Colby now, but as far as I could tell, Leon looked fine. Admittedly, Colby looks a little bit tired here. How can you not after 20 minutes? But not sitting down, though. Still not sitting down. Yeah, Leon's looking fine. Leon looks like he could keep going for another 4 rounds. Alright, it's coming down to this. It's looking like it's going to be a decision unless one of these guys decides to get more aggressive here. It's interesting because it's been looking to me like Colby's been more aggressive, but Leon has still had the better part of the octagon control. And Colby's aggression hasn't necessarily been productive for him. He hasn't gotten most of his takedowns. But at least he's trying. You guys have been hanging out on X, on Twitter tonight. What are the people saying? Where are the scorecards going with this one? Alright, into the final round here. And now we're going to see them letting it all out. They're not saving up energy for anything anymore, and you can already tell Leon is already moving forward a lot more than he had been in the other rounds. Colby shoots for the leg, gets the takedown. Finally, another successful takedown for Colby. Leon backs up against the fence. He's going to try to get up as quickly as possible here. Does not want to spend the last round on the ground with Colby controlling the pace, controlling the look of this one. He's trying to stand, using the fence, and there he goes. They're both standing now, and Leon is maybe going to try for a takedown of his own. There he goes. There he goes, and he gets it. Alright, now he's going for Colby's back here. Careful not to get too high up. Oh, this is looking good. He's got one hook in. Arm is looking to be at the right height. It's kind of flirting with Colby's neck here. It definitely can get under the chin. He's trying to get that second hook in. They're in a really awkward angle where, yeah, there you go. Colby is sort of shifting Leon out from under him. Where does that leave them? Okay. So now we've got Leon in a really interesting position. He's got a leg. He's got both legs around Colby's neck. This is going to be hard. You have to be flexible to make something happen here. He's got the arm. Colby got his arm free, and now Colby is in mount. Leon the goat, says Larry. I think it's going this way, Larry. I think if Leon can hang on here, this might be his to keep. It's dangerous though, because from here, Colby could be in control. Props to watch. Props at the beginning of the fight were for it to go over 4.5 rounds, so we were expecting this fight to go the distance. Jordy says this is what me and my brother would look like when we fought over toys. Honestly, I just have a sister. I feel like any guys who grew up with brothers have an unfair advantage in MMA. Because this is just a Saturday afternoon, isn't it? Colby trying to control Leon's arms here. Forgetting the word for arms. It is past 1 a.m. There's 1 minute left, guys, and I think we're going to end it here with Leon on his back. Colby trying to get something done. He's working the body now. He knows time is winding down. You can only soften up a guy so much with 1 minute left, so I think he's just going to try to keep control until the bell goes. Leon is getting some body shots into, to be fair. Leon hanging on to Colby for the last 30 seconds, keeping him close. When they say keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, they mean when your enemy is mounting you and you're tired, keep him real close. Colby going at Leon's head here for a few shots. I mean, Colby gets this round easily. Colby got top control a few times throughout this fight. So I'll be interested to see. It's really anyone's fight, isn't it? I've been glancing back and forth between the chat and the fight itself. Colby is calling for the belt. This is not the fight that I wanted for the last fight of the year. Larry's saying, and still, and I hope you're right, Larry, I'm definitely on Team Leon here. Docs are checking in, and I'm going to start wrapping this up while we wait for the final scores to come in. TJ is calling it Leon 49 to 46. It seems about right, maybe 48-47. Jordy says, one brother, two sisters, each separated by 18 months. Wow, yeah, so even more so with that close age difference. My sister has 5 years on me, so we were never really competing for much, but 18 months between everyone is tight. As I was saying though, I'm going to start saying my goodnights now, because once we get the results, I'm heading straight to bed. But I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out tonight. It was so much fun. I'm definitely going to be doing more of these streams. Jordy says, I think Leon is getting his hands raised. Let's see it. I hope you're right, Jordy. Thank you, Jordy, for hanging out all night. This has been absolutely wonderful. I hope you guys had fun, and I hope the rest of your weekend is wonderful. Now let's see who gets the belt. Ooh. It's a close one. Whichever way it shakes out. I do think it's going to be Leon, though. Larry says rigged if Colby wins. Let's see who gets their hand raised. I got a good tip from my dad, actually, recently. Always look for whether a translator, and in this case, we don't need a translator, but always look for a translator in the ring ahead of the winner being announced. Because if it's someone who needs a translator, the translator's going to be there. If they don't need it, the translator's not going to be there. And there it is. And still, Leon Edwards. I'm looking forward to going back and looking at the scorecard. Almost looked like Leon was going after Colby here. Was that the case? Either way, the belt is back on the champ. I'm glad to see it. I'm interested to know who Leon's gonna get next. He might call someone out here. Either way, it'll be interesting to see who gets a shot at Leon next. That being said, guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out. I had a great time. We made it to 1:16 a.m. That's because of you guys. I'll see you very, very soon with another video and then another stream. Thanks again, guys. Thank you, Moose, and everyone else who's given me tips for the next stream. I'll see you soon. Bye.